Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. I'm on my way to work. Today I wanted to tackle two main concepts, caloric surplus and caloric deficits. I'm going to be referencing them a lot, so I figured anyone who's not too familiar with these might need a little bit of a one-on-one, and because it's truly what you really need to achieve your goals and to manipulate your goals. Maybe your goals change from year to year, month to month. That way you will know what you need to alter. We will be talking about caloric surplus, caloric deficit, and also the law of thermodynamics and how it applies to your body. And then later today, I am gonna be hitting the gym with one of my really good friends. I'm kind of helping her train. I'm gonna be coaching her on leg day. That is awesome because I'm hoping she will film a couple of the exercises and I can share with you. So that's awesome. I really want to tackle caloric surplus and caloric deficits. I think that if you understand this, it's almost like the ingredients to the full recipe. If you understand what a caloric surplus is, what a caloric deficit is, the rest is just mix and matching, catering to your current role, adapting your diet, doing a little bit of fixes here and there to make sure that you're on track. That is why it is super important to really, really understand the concepts of caloric deficit and caloric surplus. What do they mean? How do you apply them depending on what your current goal is? Because again, your goal is probably going to change. So let's start with some very easy vocabulary. Calories. Calories are energy. That's it. Think of your body as a car. You need fuel. Calories are what allow you to move. Calories are what allow you to work. Calories are what allow you to study. It is what you need for your everyday thing. And that is why every food is measured in calories. You're basically seeing how much energy you will be putting in your body by ingesting it. Let's talk about how you develop a caloric surplus and a caloric deficit and what that means. So how do calories play into weight loss? Basically, you have the calories that you ingest, whatever you take in from your food, and then the calories that you spend, whatever you exercise, what is used for digestion, what is used to think, what is used to move, everything. By keeping in mind what you spend and what you consume, that is basically how you're going to build your entire plan. Why? Because if what you spend equals what you consume, your body will stay the same because you're in maintenance. If you consume more than what you spend, you will be creating a surplus because more is coming in than what you're spending. So you will probably gain mass. I say mass because it's not just fat, it could also be muscle. And then if you spend more than what you consume, you will be losing mass. Let's take all of this and put it into an example. And let's use me as an example. I spend around 2,000 calories a day. Where are all these calories being spent? That is in 3 areas. Number 1 is my base metabolic rate, which we're going to refer to as BMR. This is the amount of calories that I spend even if I were to do nothing with my day. And we know that for me, that is around 1,400. The second area that is spent is on digestion. And that is usually 10% of my BMR. So in my case, that's going to be around 150, just to keep the math simple. That brings us down to 1,550. Where is the remainder of these calories being spent? That would be my activities that I do during the day. And that can range from getting up to use the bathroom to doing a 1-hour class of flywheel. So this is the number that is going to see the highest variation depending on if I'm sick in bed or if I'm going to go run an Ironman.
Okay, Meli, so you just told us that you spend 2,000 calories per day. Now, where are these calories coming from?
These calories are coming from food.
Okay.
Those are the values that you see in the nutrition labels in every food that you eat.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I know that a piece of bread is about 100 calories, whereas an apple is 70.
Okay.
If you start adding up every single food you eat during the day, or at least estimate it, you will more or less have an idea of what you've consumed that day.
Okay.
So let me give you an example.
Okay.
Today, my breakfast must have been around 300 calories.
Mm-hmm.
My lunch, 500.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had a snack.
Okay.
That's 200 more, so that brings us to around
1,000 calories.
1,000.
Okay.
And then I had, let's say, 500 more for dinner.
Okay.
So then I have a total of 1,500.
So which is the calories that you consumed
yes.
from the food that you ate. Okay.
But do we remember how many I spent?
You spent 2,000 calories today.
Right. So that difference, that delta between the 2,000 and the 1.5 is what we call the caloric deficit.
And this is the amount of energy that, since it is not being derived from the food that we just ate, has to come from our energy reserves. And these energy reserves in our body is the fat that we have. Essentially, creating the caloric deficit is, in other words, the only way for us to start using up our fat reserves. Since I spent 2,000 calories during my day, and I only took 1,500 calories from the food that I ate, where are these 500 calories, this delta of 500 calories coming from? Well, the answer is the energy reserves that I have in my body, which is mainly my fat. So in order for my body, for Meli's body, to cover this delta, this difference of 500 calories, Meli will have to start using the fat that she has in her body.
Panos, that was beautifully said.
Thank you.
But we need to talk about it in more familiar terms.
Okay.
Let's talk money.
Okay, let's talk money.
So I go and I spend $2,000.
Okay.
And then my credit card bill comes back. I need to pay $2,000. But my checkings account only has 1,500. Okay. So I'm going to cover 1,500. Okay. But then I have that difference, that 500 that I still have to cover. Okay. That's where I'm going to go into my savings account and pull those from my savings. Okay. That is what your body does. It starts using the fat that it has as reserves to compensate for that energy.
So basically what you're telling us is that you spent 2,000 calories or $2,000, if we're talking money, from your credit card. And that in order to pay back this $2,000, you spent $1,500 from your checkings account, because that is the money that you had there. And because that money wasn't enough, you had to go into your reserves, your savings account, and take $500 from there.
And going into that reserve is what you want to aim to do if you want to lose weight.
Because ultimately, our reserves, when it comes to our body, is the fat that we have. So in order for us to start eating up on this reserve, we need to start creating a deficit.